The purpose of this video is to provide instructions for entering data into the Addiction Detail or ADD section in MOTS. Entering client profile and behavioral health data is required before MOTS will accept addiction detail data. Instructions for entering data in the client profile and behavioral health sections are in other videos, which should be viewed before this one. Please review the MOTS reference manual for information on specific fields in the ADD section. This manual and other helpful tools can be found on the MOTS public website. This demonstration will take place in the MOTS training environment. Typically, the ADD section would be completed immediately following the CPD and BHD sections, but it will be demonstrated separately because it will not be relevant to the facilities which do not provide addiction treatment. For reference, here is the URL for the MOTS training environment and the email address for MOTS support. Remember, when using MOTS training, enter only false test data. Real clients should only be entered in the live production environment. After logging in, the MOTS homepage will display. From here, this demonstration will illustrate entering addiction detail data for the randomly generated test client who was entered in the client profile video. Click the Client Entry tab at the top of the screen. Confirm that the agency and facility fields contain the correct selections. Enter all or part of the client's last name, or enter all or part of the client's first name, or client ID, or Medicaid ID. In searching for a client, the less information entered or the broader the search criteria, the better. Simple differences in the spelling of a name may make existing clients difficult to find. Click the Search button. The search results are displayed. When the correct client has been located, click any part of the line containing his or her name and other information. The client summary page will display. Click the line for the existing behavioral health episode. The client profile screen will display. This screen and the behavioral health detail screen have already been completed for this client. If any client profile information is changed since the last submission, update the fields on this screen. When ready, click the Behavioral Health Detail tab. If any behavioral health detail information has changed since the last submission, update the fields on this screen. When ready, click the Addiction Detail tab to add addiction data. Most of the fields on this page are required and must be completed before the record can be submitted. Rules behind this page prevent invalid data from being submitted. If MOTS detects invalid data, error messages will be displayed at the time of submission. Each field on this screen will be described in detail as example data is entered. Select the client's primary substance problem. If the client only has a primary problem, select None for the secondary problem. Doing so will cause the remaining secondary problem fields and the tertiary problem fields to auto-populate. Otherwise, select a secondary problem and, if applicable, a tertiary problem. Enter the age at which the client first used the selected substance. If alcohol is selected, this age would be when he or she was first intoxicated. Enter 0 if the client was affected at birth. Enter 999 if the substance is none. Select the frequency at which the client used the substance at the time he or she entered treatment. Periodically during treatment and at the conclusion of treatment, update this field to show any changes in the client's substance use over time. Leaving this field at a high frequency, such as daily, throughout the client's treatment and upon completion of treatment results in contradictory data. For example, how can the client have successfully completed treatment and still be using the problem substance on a daily basis? Select the option that best describes the usual or most commonly used route of administration of the identified substance. Enter the number of positive drug tests recorded for this client in the 30 days prior to treatment, regardless of what organization requested or conducted the test. If submitting a status update during treatment, enter the number of positive drug tests recorded for this client since admission or in the past 90 days. Select the option that best matches the number of times the client attended self-help programs in the 30 days prior to entering treatment. If submitting a status update during treatment, select the option that best matches self-help attendance since admission or in the past 90 days. When entering a new client, the DUII completion date field should be left blank. At the conclusion of treatment for a DUII client, enter the date on which he or she completed the program. This field will become required for clients with a DUII legal status and a treatment complete treatment status. Select the type of addiction that medication is used to treat as part of the client's treatment plan, if any. Select the level of care it is determined that the client needs. Select the level of care in which the client is currently enrolled. This may be different from the addiction-assessed level of care. For example, the client may be assessed as in need of residential treatment, but no space is available. As a result, the client may be enrolled in a lower level of care in order to begin treatment until space becomes available. Enter the dates of birth of children in treatment with their parent. This is only used for parent clients in a residential treatment facility who have a child or children in residence with them. If a date was entered in error, or if a child is no longer residing with the client, click the corresponding Delete link. MOTS will ask for confirmation. The Addiction Detail tab is now complete. Click the Submit button and watch for any error messages. If errors are found, look at all three tabs, correct any errors, and submit the record. If no errors are detected, MOTS will return to the client summary page. An active behavioral health episode of care with addiction detail data has now been recorded for this client. During treatment, submit updates to show changes in the client's situation. This is done by reviewing the existing behavioral health and addiction detail records. For example, the client's employment status and living arrangement may change. Status updates like these are required every 90 days or more frequently, but submitting updates more often, such as every 30 days or as changes occur, ensures more accurate data. Update the behavioral health screen as well. For example, the client's source of income, monthly household income, and substance use in the last 90 days may change. Update the Addiction Detail tab as well. For example, the client's frequency of use, drug test count, and self-help group attendance may have changed. He or she may also have met the DUII completion requirements. When all updates have been entered, return to the Client Profile tab. When treatment has concluded, update the client treatment status field by selecting the option that best describes the reason for ending this episode of care, then click the Submit button. MOTS will produce a warning message. When the client treatment status is changed from active to any other status, the episode of care will be closed. After this point, it cannot be reopened and updates cannot be submitted. Always update the client profile and behavioral health screens before changing the client treatment status to ensure that the client's current situation is reported. Updating the client treatment status field first may result in records that show zero change or improvement from the beginning of the episode to the end. To confirm, click Yes. This concludes the training video for the Addiction Detail section. To continue learning about entering data into MOTS Client Entry, please review the next video on non-Medicaid service information.